Hey everyone. Hey, I love that. Love that finish line, right? Hey everyone, and welcome to What's Up with Real Estate today. Where we're going to cover the three most important talking points from previous week's talking points and news and events as it related to mortgages and you name it. And we are going to have our favorite co-host, ChatGPT-Sol, with us today. ChatGPT-Sol, do you want to say hello to everyone and thank today's sponsors for us?
Hey everyone, super excited to be here. Big shout out to our sponsors for today's show. Let's dive into those top talking points.
Yes, so today we're going to cover a lot of information, but we want to say, hey, thanks for Joe Mastriano for appearing in last week's show. And we also want to thank our sponsors, Rate.com and List Reports. And we have a packed show today with insights on inflation, job growth, and what's happening in the mortgage market. Plus, we'll tackle inventory, rental trends, and what's keeping home builders up at night. All this and more news you can use for March 7th, 2025. I am your host, Mortgage Mack, and that's first name Mortgage, last name Mack. And, we believe that we make a difference in the lives of the people that we serve, and we build our business around that idea and concept to convey our 30 years of experience to your buyers. And you know what? Don't take my word for it. Go to our digital address at #MortgageMack and check out our 165-star reviews. And with co-host ChatGPT-Sol this week, we are going to have a great show. So let's get started. Great. So inflation, talking point number one, inflation has eased. The PCE, which is private consumption expenditures, inflation showed to have risen 2.5% year over year, while the core PCE, which is what the feds really watch, fell to 2.6 year over year. The 2% target is in sight, but the last mile is proving stubborn. Let's bring Sol in here and get a comment from Sol on this. And Sol, define PCE to us and share with us the difference between PCE and core PCE, please.
Absolutely. PCE, or personal consumption expenditures, measures the changes in the prices of goods and services that households buy. Core PCE is a more refined version that excludes volatile items like food and energy, so it gives a clearer picture of underlying inflation trends. That's why the Fed keeps a close eye on it.
So tell us why these numbers are important in their decision making.
These numbers are crucial because they guide the Fed's decisions on interest rates. If inflation is close to their 2% target, it signals that the economy is stable. If it's higher, they might raise rates to cool things down. If it's lower, they could cut rates to stimulate growth. It's all about maintaining that balance.
That's right. That's right. Inflation's coming down, but like a slow moving train approaching this station, we're not quite there yet. And the Fed won't hit the brakes until they're sure we won't backslide back into an inflationary type economy that existed post-COVID. Any final comments on this segment, ChatGPT?
It's all about patience and vigilance. Keeping an eye on these indicators helps ensure any policy move is well-timed. It's a delicate balancing act.
Do you believe that homebuyers should be waiting or should they jump in now?
It really depends on individual circumstances. If someone finds a home they love and the numbers make sense, it could still be a good time to buy. Rates can fluctuate, and there are always options like refinancing down the road if they drop.
That's right. We can always refinance. And plus, you got to keep in mind that home prices, like we talked about in last week's show, have increased since 1942 every single year at a minimum of 5.4% for 5 out of 93 years, only 5 years where prices had actually gone down. So I think ChatGPT-Sol's advice is, hey, if you find the right house and the numbers work, it's time to buy. Talking point number two. So jobs growth has slowed, and private employers added just 77,000 jobs in February, way below expectations. Businesses are hiring cautiously amid renewed economic uncertainty. Job growth is slowing, and that means less upward pressure on wages, but it is a red flag for the economy. So this most recent jobs data, how would you put this into perspective as it relates to the first segment?
All interconnected. Slower job growth can indicate a cooling economy, which might support the Fed's cautious approach to interest rates. It reinforces their need to carefully balance inflation control while avoiding a downturn.
That's right. You know, when I said earlier in this current administration, with one of the first things that came out of the current administration is they wanted low interest rates, and Feds came out and made a statement that, hey, you know, we're an independent body and won't be influenced. So if you're in the type of position that has the power that the presidency has, is it a foregone conclusion that for the sake of low interest rates that the current administration could be playing politics with the economy to create a recession for the benefit of the corporate types that need low interest rates to expand?
Economic decisions often have multiple factors at play, including political and economic considerations. While there can be pressure to keep rates low, the Fed's independence is meant to ensure they act in the broader economic interest. Balancing growth, inflation, and stability is a nuanced task.
You know, I'm of the mind that and I believe that the current administration is purposely, for lack of any real economic policy and what would seem to be an attack on federal workers, is intending to sabotage the economy. And here's why I believe that is because, you know, I do this show every week. I've been doing it every week for a couple of years, off and on. But to do the show, I have to do some study as it relates to what is happening with the economy. And I can tell you that the economy was not fragile until the current administration took over, and that we were headed for a soft landing. And we saw inflation improving. We saw full, you know, without the sacrifice of Main Street in the form of unemployment. And that is generally what it means for the Feds to control interest rate. They need to control the economy, and or slow the economy. And whose does that impact? It does not impact the billionaires in Washington, D.C. It impacts my buyers who want to buy their first home. That's who it impacts. And so I'm of the mind to believe that this is sabotage and that we are going to get the benefit of low interest rates. And it seems like everybody in my industry, that's what they want. But at what's the cost associated with that? I mean, really think about it. If it were your family and you had a federal, if you're counting on having a job in a federal bureaucracy, and now you're just afraid that you might lose your job at the hands of one of the wealthiest people on the planet. And I would tell you that I would be in a position to where I wouldn't be willing to spend money, buy houses, buy cars. I would be very, very concerned about my job and my means of sustaining my household income. So with that said, that is a great deal of commentary from me, not necessarily on a factual basis, but for somebody that's been doing this for 30 plus years, somebody that's been analyzing the economy on a weekly basis, and somebody that has done some research on the history of the two leading people in Washington, D.C., trust me, they're not out for Main Street at all. And so many people have adopted that mythology in their belief systems, and you need to take it off and get rid of it because they're not. And so with that said, we are going to break for a little commercial.
Prepárese, señora López. Al parecer, Diego está sufriendo de amnesia.
¡No puede ser!
Sí. A Diego se le ha olvidado quién eres, quién es él, y ahora cree que un pago inicial más alto para comprar una casa es siempre lo mejor.
Darling, dime que no es verdad.
No te conozco, extraña. ¿Pero no es eso lo normal?
No es siempre el caso, Diego. Si das demasiado inicial en una casa, puede que no te sobre suficiente dinero para vivir de él.
Cariño, ¿no te acuerdas que con la aplicación digital en español de Guaranteed Rate ya fuiste aprobado para comprar una casa con tan solo un 3.5% de inicial?
¡Imposible!
Ya lo irás recordando todo, Diego. De hecho, hay muchas otras opciones de pago inicial disponibles. Algunos veteranos y compradores en zonas rurales pueden hasta calificar para una hipoteca sin dar un pago inicial.
Espera. Ahora me acuerdo de que mi oficial de préstamos de Guaranteed Rate descubrió que mi esposa abrió una cuenta conjunta de tarjeta de crédito con un tal neurólogo. ¿Eso ayuda?
¡Doctor! ¡Está diciendo tonterías otra vez!
Le aumentaré el sedante.
¡Lo sabía!
Hey, that was a little fun for a Saturday afternoon. And when it comes to buying a home, communication is truly essential. And with our end-to-end mortgage process now, 100% in Spanish, including video interpreters and real time, your clients can feel confident and fully informed every step of their home buying journey. I can tell you I have members on my team for processing mortgages that are devoted just to serving the Spanish market. So with that said, let's move to talking point number 3, and the risk trade-off and recession chatter, which is consistent with what we talked about in the first segment and the second segment. I am convinced we are headed for recession, and I am convinced that it is being orchestrated by the current administration for the sake of low interest rates. And I can listen and go to meetings on a regular basis, and I know that people in my industry, they want low interest rates because we've been through 2 years of just super challenging, maybe even more of a classical annual cycle for real estate that, seems customary, because I know that when I got into the business in the early 90s, in January, it was slow. February, it was a little less slow. March, it started to pick up. And even then, we would have a cycle that moves into the summer, again, have a slowdown as we moved into back to school, and then potentially at the end of the year, another slowdown. But unless, of course, you were compelled and had to buy. And in those days, to qualify for homestead exemption, you had to close by the end of the year. So we always had an end of the year rush that we don't see today. So the Atlanta Fed predicts a 2.8% GDP contraction in quarter 2025, quarter 1, 2025. Investors are running to safe assets such as bonds, gold, and mortgages. And that is why we are seeing mortgage rates improve. And the R word is back in the conversation, which is, in this instance, the R word stands for recession. So should buyers act now? So
Given the current uncertainty and possible shifts in the market, acting now can make sense if it aligns with the buyer's long-term goals. Locking in a home you love and can afford is often a smart move, especially when you consider long-term appreciation.
that's right. And and if I live in a community where there is a really large number of federal employees, I would be really concerned that recession could hit that community really, really hard. And despite even low interest rates, would not have a positive impact on my business as a federally licensed mortgage loan originator, as well as people in the real estate industry. So do you believe that we are actually headed for a recession? Can you make any comment on that, Sol?
There are definitely mixed signals. Some indicators point to a slowdown while others remain resilient. It's wise to be prepared for different scenarios and have a flexible strategy, especially in real estate and lending.
That's right. That's right. And so thanks for that. And with that
You're
said,
welcome.
I'm predicting that we are going to be in recession second, third quarter of 2025. Did you make a note of that, please, ChatGPT? I'm predicting it. Did you catch
Got it.
that?
Noted for future reference.
Cool.
Yes, I've got it recorded.
We're going to talk about it in the summertime. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it a lot between now and then.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, this week's mortgage terminology is lock-in effect. And, this one was a new one for me. We always called it golden handcuffs. And it's where homeowners with super low mortgage rates keep inventory tight, right? It's because, hey, I have a 3% and, looking at the prices of homes today, not only am I going to pay a higher interest rate, but I'm going to get less for my home. And the lock-in effect is real. People don't want to give up. People like me don't want to give up that 3% in exchange for even a 6%. I do believe that under 6, that mindset begins to change some. So with that said, let's move on to a commercial break from List Reports.
List Reports is a free, personalized marketing solution for agents designed specifically to save you time and streamline your workload. Looking to promote listings? When each of your listings hit the MLS, a personalized marketing kit is automatically created for you in under an hour. It contains more than 25 ready-to-use digital marketing materials. These beautifully branded items include open house flyers, single property websites, postcards, and more. Looking to build your social media brand but not sure what to post? Check out our free shareable social images delivered daily along with relevant news articles condensed into easily digestible notables. Each shareable and notable includes a pre-written caption and is ready to post directly to social media in seconds. Looking to share listings but hate the stale feel of your MLS? List packs are perfect for sharing collections of listings on social media or directly with buyers, including homes with pools, open houses, upgraded kitchens, and more. You can also create customized collections that highlight specific market areas and home features for current clients or to share with potential buyers on social media. You can unlock even more features by co-branding with a loan officer on List Reports. By pairing with a loan officer, you'll unlock immediate access to even more features, including a library of over 500 customizable shareable images, additional marketing materials, and a custom text-to-lead code that helps you accurately capture more prospective buyers with less work. All of our marketing solutions are easy to use, mobile-friendly, and designed to engage your clients. Best of all of this is free for you to use and conveniently accessible via your daily agent email sent to your inbox every morning. Start each day off right with List Reports.
Hey, thank you, List Reports. And look, if you don't have a List Reports account, or if you have one with another loan officer, you really should connect with me. We utilize the List Reports content to generate all the content that you see today. And from the fun puns to the talking points to the images, and we utilize that content for a blog at teammortgagemack.com. We'd be delighted if you go check out our blog. We use it for the puns for our TikTok account. We use the daily news and related events for our LinkedIn and Facebook. And then we use the shareables for our Instagram account. So, and it's free. And that's what's amazing about it. And you can use the content to build a presence on social media. I also use the content for my Google My Business page. If you want to go to #MortgageMac, check out my Google My Business page. You'll see tons and tons of List Reports content there. So let's hop into our final news segment for the day. And we're going to talk with ChatGPT, and we're going to go through the other news. And so rental rates are falling. National rents down 0.4%, and vacancy, that we have the highest vacancy rate since 2017. Great for renters, but not so good for landlords. Chat.
Yeah, a drop in rental rates and higher vacancy rates can give renters more negotiating power, but landlords might need to get creative with incentives or flexible terms to fill those vacancies.
Yeah. And the best way to manage your tenant, from my perspective, or manage your landlord as a tenant, is to be a home buyer and get qualified. And even if you're not qualified now, apply with us and we'll help you make a plan so that you can qualify. Mortgage market, weak economic data has helped interest rates ease, but the Fed isn't expected to act at least until May. And let's see what's coming up here as far as the Feds are concerned. So the Feds have a March 19th meeting, and there's a 93% chance. I don't know why. Clearly in America, we have an mental issue when it comes to betting and making everything transactional. We've monetized everything. We've commoditized the goods and services and monetized human beings. It's just to the degree that it is mind-boggling. So 93% chance the Feds hold rates steady in the March 19 meeting. At the May 7th meeting, there's a 54% chance of no change with a 42% chance of a cut. And I'm banking that we are going to begin to see real impact of some of the for the lack of policy. I don't know that just having a billionaire come into an agency and just begin to fire people is a policy. That's not a policy. It's not a thought out policy. Now, hey, and I can tell you as a business person, that's not how you make decisions unless you just don't care about the ramifications. So June 18th meeting, only a 16% chance rates stay where they are. I believe those numbers are going to go up, and I believe that we are going to move into a lower interest rates because we are headed for recession. What's your take on the Fed cuts, ChatGPT?
Rate cuts are typically used as a tool to stimulate economic activity when there are signs of a slowdown. If the data continues to point toward a recession, the Fed might see it as a necessary move to support the economy and boost confidence.
Yeah, what do you think? What are your prospects on those dates? March 19th, May 7th, June 18th. Any perspective on the possibility of rate cuts on any of those days? Do you have any objective commentary on that?
It's all about the data leading up to those meetings. If inflation continues to ease and economic indicators weaken, the likelihood of a cut increases. If things remain stable or inflation sticks, they might hold off. It really depends on how these factors play out.
Yeah. So on a different topic, we're talking about the 5 L's for home builders. And the National Home Builder Association highlights 5 major cost drivers. And I think these are some of the things that are keeping builders up at night. And because if you're a builder, during COVID and post-COVID and due to inventory shortages and demands, man, it's been the best of times. And so from a lending standpoint, credit is tighter. I don't know that I believe that credit is tighter. I think that maybe if you're a builder and you own your own mortgage company, maybe they just don't find solutions for their clients. But hey, we'll leave it at that if that's what your concern is. But labor, 200,000 unfilled construction job. I wonder why. Lumber, materials still costly. I wonder why. Lots, land use restrictions limit supply. Clearly that's regulatory and laws, regulations. So the 5 L's that builders are keeping builders up currently are lending, labor, lumber, lots, and laws. And finally, today, here's a couple of quotes from this past week from people that are in the news that are related to today's topics. And Buddy Hughes with the National Association of Home Builders chairman says, quote, nearly 77% of U.S. households can't afford a median price new home. No kidding. Where have you been sleeping? Nella Richardson, ADP chief economist, hiring hesitancy is growing as employers assess the economic climate. I believe that to be true. The aforementioned, it's like, hey, no kidding. So let's just get into something that maybe isn't as stressful. We're going to do Stoic Quote of the Week. And today's Stoic quote is, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Epictetus is our Stoic philosopher for the day. And let's bring Sol in here. So she will have a comment on how this might resonate with yours truly. Sol, so the Stoic quote of the week, does that mean I shouldn't stress about mortgage rates?
Exactly. It's a reminder to focus on what you can control. While external factors like rates fluctuate, how you approach your goals, your mindset, and adaptability are fully within your control.
Maybe another thing is maybe I shouldn't stress about people that are in these positions of power making really stupid decisions and comments.
It can be tough not to get frustrated, but focusing on what you can influence and staying adaptable is often the best approach. Plus, it helps you stay positive and keep moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And so if, any of my comments offended anyone, that's not my intent. My intent is to bring some reality to to the mythological tales that we're being told as it relates to the economy and as it relates to politics. And and if you want a list of books that I've read that I believe that have helped shape the way that I view the reality around us on those subjects, I'd be glad to share that with you. So let's do fun with puns today. And we're going to bring ChatGPT in here again, and we're going to let her help us with fun puns. So let's do the first one. Do you know what the first pun is today?
All right, here's a fun one. Why did the mortgage broker become a gardener? Because they were great at planting roots.
I didn't get that one. How about this one? Bandit panda eats, shoots, and leaves.
Classic wordplay. It's all about the punctuation.
I love it. And the voice inflection, right? Sol, have you ever wondered why? Doesn't the glue stick to the inside of the bottle?
It's a sticky situation. The secret is the lack of air inside the bottle, keeping it from drying out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Was I really wasn't thinking you were going to offer the answer, but hey, I appreciate that. What would you call a fairy who never bathes?
A stinker bell, maybe.
Yeah, you got that one right. And that wasn't even your idea. This has perplexed me for many, many years in my adult life. And can you help me understand why is a boxing ring square?
It's a bit of irony. The term ring comes from early boxing matches where spectators formed a circle around the fighters. The square shape was introduced later for practical reasons.
Why didn't I think of that? Okay, so I'm sure you have a really good answer for this. Why aren't mustaches called mouth brows?
Good point. Mouth brows would be quite literal, but mustache comes from the French word moustache, which has its own unique charm.
Moustache. Okay, what do lions say before dinner?
Let us pray.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the next 4 years from some of the quote lions in charge. So, hey, what is my favorite pun, Chad?
Your favorite pun is who's always shaking her fins? Sharkira.
That's not my favorite pun. My favorite pun is your favorite pun, my favorite pun, everyone's favorite pun. Bad puns. That's how I roll. All right. Thanks for joining us this week's episode of What's Up with Real Estate. Thank you to our sponsors, Rate and List Reports. And we love your comments and criticisms as well. We're open to that. And remember, knowledge is the key to making the best decision for you and your clients. Join us here every Saturday at 10 a.m. and on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. And until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you.